Apparently Google doesn't know as much about the Caribbean as we thought. I wanted some inspiration for a Caribbean fish dish, and these are the results I got. Of course, it was only a matter of time before jerk fish came up, and apparently the only country that cooks fish in the Caribbean is Jamaica. So we can do better than this. This is the recipe from the Caribbean coast of Colombia, using a whole fish, fresh fish, caught in the waters just off of the coast, pescado frito. Now, this pescado frito, fried fish, is not cooked in a deep fat fryer. No, the way they cook this is in hot oil, but this is cooked on the beach over hot coals. Now, the hot coals provide the heat for the deep frying. You get a big pan, you put it on the hot coals. Now, the hot coals obviously need to be in some sort of barbecue, right? The barbecues I'm talking about are old car wheels on stilts. Those are the barbecues that these fried fish are being cooked on. Now, how do you manage the temperature of that? Well, you do it by taking the whole pot of hot oil on and off of the heat to regulate the temperature. There is so much skill in doing this, it's crazy. So, no just like turning the knob up or down to get your desired temperature. This is managing heat, fire, right? And there's an element of danger included as well. I mean, hot oil on and off the fire, it's not easy. It's crazy they managed to get a crispy skin on this pescado frito every time on the beach. I just don't know how they do it, but it's incredible. And you get these little, you see the little slits, the little cuts? It almost makes it really easy for you to just peel the meat off. This dish is served simply fresh lime, coconut rice, which we'll talk about later. Now, I'm going to show you my take on this dish because I'm cooking a menu in a couple of weeks' time, and it's going to be a tasting menu, which is going to be representing the Caribbean coast of Colombia. And I want to have this pescado frito on my dish, but as it's 10 courses, I can't serve a whole fish, a little bit too much. I still want to really capture the essence of this fried fish though. So here's my idea. Have you ever heard of bonito? Bonito is like dried smoked fish flakes, right? I remember the first time I had them on this like okonomiyaki, these Japanese kind of pancakes. They give amazing flavor and they give amazing texture. Still crunchy, not crunchy like chicharron crunchy, but like lightly flaky crunchy. And I'm gonna use those to do like a double up on the crispy fish skin, so you get a bite of the crispy fish skin and a bit of bonito on top. So it's a lot of flavor and a lot of texture. I'm going to try to assemble it and show you what I'm talking about. Let's have a look at this. So starting off with an ají verde. Ají is like a salsa in Colombia. So usually made of tomato, onion, garlic. I've taken green chilies and I've blended them up with some garlic that I've roasted over the fire as well to kind of get that smoky flavor. We've got tamarind emulsion as well to go with it. This is going to bring the sweet, the salty, the sour notes to go with it. Then we've got our lovely piece of pescado frito. So here I've put it under the grill just to crispy up just a little bit more. And then we're just going to give a little bit of extra flavor with the parsley and garlic oil that I've made. Just to add a little bit of extra depth. With some fish rolls on the side for some saltiness. Again, like I want to use as much of the element of the fish as possible. Then we've got our lovely bonito flakes. Dried, smoked fish flakes. So I've tried to fry them up and crisp them up even more. And it's got a little secret spice blend in there as well, just to give you some salty pops in your mouth as you bite into it. Then we're just going to finish it off with some pansies, flowers, deep purple and white, just to make that green pop out even more. And you can eat these flowers as well. Now, this is my pescado frito. Little bit of extra garnish. I'm quite happy with how this dish looks. It's taken me a long time to get to this space. I'm quite happy with how this dish looks and tastes. But of course, when you're cooking with fish, now in this instance, I didn't use the whole fish and fry it. It means that you're going to have some stuff left over. Talking about like the bones right? The head. When you buy a fresh fish, the best thing you can do is use the whole thing. It's expensive to buy fresh fish, right? So maximize it. And this is the exact same thing that these ladies on the beach, when they cook, they use the whole fish. Even if they're selling whole fish, there's going to be some bycatch, you know, some smaller ones that maybe don't fry so well. They use this to make fish sancocho, which is a fish soup, right? Lovely fish flavored broth. I've got this head and bones left over. There's so much flavour left on these bones, so we're going to use them to make a fish soup. Now you can use them not just in a soup, you can make a stock with these bones, you can make sauce with these bones. There's so much flavour. The key is to roast them off to really caramelise them to get the flavour out of it, and the head too. But even if you are, here's a little tip for you. Even if you do go to the fishmongers and are planning on cooking a whole fish, right, and you want to have a sauce for the fish, just ask them, hey, do you got some spare bones that you can throw in with that fish because I want to make a stock? Usually they'll throw that in for you for free, right? And it's fresh fish, right, that you're getting for free. Fresh flavour. And you know what? They're going to give you like the carcass because they've taken the fillets off. You're going to get the head. Now in the head, not only there's a lot of flavour, but there's still some meat left in there too. So don't be afraid of fish heads. They're getting kind of trendy now. Like I've seen some menus with fish heads on the menu. It's because there's meat in them still. So don't be afraid to go and ask. So as I said, I like to use as much of the fish as I can. So on this menu, if I'm doing the fish, the pescado frito, I'm doing a dish to use the rest of the fish. So I'm going with a dish I'm going to call sopa caribeña, like a Caribbean soup. I'm going to use the fish bones, I'm going to smoke them so they get a nice smoky flavour, caramelised flavour, and I'm going to make a fish soup with them. I'm going to show you my process for making this sopa caribeña. Let me know what you think. So first up, the actual fish broth itself, made with a little bit of the bonito to kind of give it that dashy base, and a smoked fish bones, some coconut milk, blended up. Now, charred coconut milk. Listen to that. Just adds a little bit of extra depth to that coconut milk. We're going to turn this into a foam using the gourmet whip, just to add a little bit of a lighter texture to this soup, a little bit more flavour. So let's see how good my skills are. Turns out not very. I'm going to need some more practice with this before I actually do the dinner. Now we have our guascas crumbs. A guascas is a spice that you usually find in some soups on the Caribbean coast. Kind of minty, lightly minty. Hard to find the fresh leaves here, so I'm using dried. This has also got a lovely bit of our garlic and parsley oil on the top. And we're going to finish this off just with some edible flowers. Now what we've got is our sopa caribeña, kind of like using up all of the fish parts and adding a little bit of extra flavour with a little bit of smoke and a bit of foam for a little bit of play on textures. So this pescado frito usually gets served with Colombian coconut rice, fried plantains. That is that fried fish plate on the beach. Now my idea behind the menu is I wanted to kind of just take apart this dish and serve the individual elements so you could kind of savour the flavours in each one. So I'm doing the pescado frito as one. Okay, I've taken the bones and I'm making the soup as one. Now the coconut rice. No, not jerk rice. This is a Caribbean rice dish. Colombian coconut rice. Now I've spent about the best part of at least a year trying to make this rice correctly. It's not easy. I had to get lessons from my mother-in-law and it's taken me a long time to get this recipe correct. It's not just like your typical rice and peas with cream coconut. As great as that dish is, this is cooked in quite a different way. This rice is typical in the Caribbean region of Colombia. It's a rice that's cooked on a base of caramelized coconut pulp. You cook it down until it's almost burnt. It's called titote. This is the base. You can buy it in jars also, but it's this amazing caramelized coconut flavor that just gives the rice a whole different flavour profile compared to the coconut rice that you might be used to. The key is actually, so there's no like cook it for 10 minutes and then chuck the rice in. You have to watch and you have to smell. That's what I've learned. So you're cooking down that coconut pulp. Now, you can't always get coconut pulp, but I use tins of coconut milk and I take the fat off the top and I use that. And the key is you just have to watch it until you smell that caramelized coconut smell, and until it's going as dark as possible, because you've got the two types. You've got the white coconut rice and you've got the dark coconut rice. And we're going for the dark coconut rice here because this rice is served with two of the most popular dishes, the pescado frito and the posta cartagenera, which we'll talk about another time. Now here's my idea. I'm not going to serve this rice alongside the pescado frito. I'm turning this into a dessert. Everyone loves a rice pudding, arroz con leche, simple classic dessert. Here's my idea, right? When I was coming home from Colombia last time, I stopped off outside the airport. I always stop off outside the airport in Cartagena because there's these amazing places just on the street outside. One place does amazing sancocho. It's like a daily menu. And then for the first time, I braved it, tried my broken Spanish, because this guy had these big tamales, right? Big tamales. I had no idea what was inside, but I went, I had a look. They had little price tags on them. I said, I'll take that one. Took it away into the airport, opened it up. It was a tamale full of chicken and rice. So that rice is pre-cooked with the chicken, and then it's put in there and it's steamed. You can't replicate that flavour of like banana leaf. Oh. But here's my idea. I'm gonna go tamale or tamal, but I'm going sweet. And I'm combining that with arroz con leche, so the rice pudding. So what I wanna do is I wanna make a sweet tamal, with arroz con leche inside. I'm gonna steam it inside there. So I'm going with the titote base, but then I'm gonna add some condensed coconut milk. I'm going to put it inside a corn husk, wrap it up and steam it. And then I'm going to serve that. Because coconut rice has raisins in it, I'm going to do a rum and raisin vanilla ice cream. Just to have a scoop of that on top. And then I'm going to do a warm flor de Jamaica or hibiscus jam. So it's like warm rice pudding, sweet, warm jam, sweet, cold, boozy ice cream on top. Let's give it a go. I'm starting off with a corn husk here actually instead of a banana leaf. Easier to come by the corn husks. Now this is some of my arroz con leche that I made, my rice pudding. You can see the white pieces there. That is the coconut fat that's separated away. So I cooked this down so much that the fat separates. And that brown colour is the natural colour just from going to caramelization point of the coconut fat and adding the pudding rice. So you can see there, that is kind of a sweet Colombian coconut rice. A little touch of condensed coconut milk. Now we have our sorrel or flor de Jamaica jam. I'm going to just insert that into the middle and we're going to fold it up so that when this steams, you're going to get a lovely warm jammy centre. We're going to tie this up with a little bit of our husk that we cut off into a double knot and just tidy up any loose ends. Hard to do this by yourself to make a nice bow. We're going to take this away, we're going to steam it for 20 minutes, 10 minutes on either side till everything is heated through. We want that rice pudding to be nice and warm. Let's open it up. Now, moment of truth. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I love that classic tamale shape. Now, we are going to just make a well here for our rum and raisin coconut sorbet. Yep. And then just a little touch of hibiscus powder on the top. And we're just going to garnish that with another one of our lovely, beautiful flowers just to make the colours pop. Now, you know what? I've got to give this a try. I'm just going to move the camera up because I'm enjoying this so much. Is there anything better than rice pudding, really? So that's my menu. Um, my inspiration, all of that is just from one dish in Colombia, the Caribbean coast. So there's a lot more to come from this region that I'm going to show you. If you want to see that, hit subscribe, and I'll look forward to showing you some more in the next video.